Hello, and welcome to another episode of Minimize Regret. In this episode, I want to explore something that may or may not have anything to do with regret. And it's the idea of physical endeavors versus mental endeavors. And maybe mental isn't the right word, but when I say mental, I'm thinking it's something that's happening in front of a computer screen. And obviously, that doesn't have to be the case. Like, people go to great extents at some time to not utilize the convenience of a computer and instead maybe write by hand, which is obviously quite a bit slower. But there's definitely a certain quality and feeling to actually writing stuff by hand that may change the way you think and possibly even in a positive way. Now, this is something that's kind of been a theme throughout a large part of my life. I've always had a much better focus and concentration when something was in a physical realm, and I'm not really sure of all the reasons for that, but I do think part of it is that you really have no other choice. Like, if you're showing up, which is, or it's become a habit that obviously it's still a choice, but once you're there, you have no choice but to compete and try to improve and get better. Like, there really is nothing else for you to do in a physical endeavor. And it doesn't always have to be competitive with other people. It could just be some sort of competition in terms of bettering yourself, like lifting weights and trying to lift more, or lifting weights and trying to get bigger, which are definitely two areas that I have a lot of experience in. And I really like these things because, really, in many cases, it's just a test of the physical challenge becomes almost a test of mental fortitude. It's like, how hard can you push yourself? And it really comes to a point: do I quit or do I keep going? Or at least, even within a microcycle of like just a training session, or within a macrocycle of, do I want to keep doing this type of thing? And I've always found that quite appealing because I've always thought of myself as like someone who is capable of pushing themselves. But with mental endeavors, or doing like projects at work, or trying to learn more about data, I've always found it a lot more difficult to stick with something and keep pushing to become better and better. And I do think a lot of that is just the choice that the internet provides. Like, there are literally endless distractions, there's endless things you could be doing. And in some sense, with athletics, even within a particular instance, there are also infinite things you could be doing to try to improve. But I just think the scale and connectivity and addictiveness of the internet is just so much greater, that it magnifies this thing in our brain that wants to keep an eye out for new things, or stuff that looks exciting or interesting, and it just kind of preys on that. And so I don't really have a solution. Like, I do feel like I've tested myself physically to the point where in many cases I do know what I'm capable of. Like, if I spend years and years of work, which I'm proud of, but mentally I really don't feel as though I've gotten the best out of myself, because although on occasion I get obsessed with something, for the most part I'm distracted from what, at least, that I say that I want to do quite often. And if you're distracted, there's no way you're getting the best out of yourself. So yeah, I don't really have a good solution for this, but it's a topic that I wanted to dive into a little bit. And let me know if you have any ideas on why physical activities may be easier to focus on for some people, and why computer screen may be more distracting for some people and less distracting for other people. It's really a topic that I am very interested in, because I do feel like it's been one of the struggles of my life to, like, even when I was a kid working on homework, I found it very hard to focus. And like, I don't really totally understand why. I mean, I do think distraction is normal, and like, from an evolutionary perspective, it makes a lot of sense. You need to be able to switch from one thing to another, especially when there's threat or danger. When something new information appears, you need to take it in, you need to assess it, and take the information in quickly. So it's not that surprising. But in the modern world, concentration feels like a superpower, and I don't feel as though I've totally mastered that superpower yet, and so it's something that I'm still working on and exploring. So yeah, that's all I've got for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.